Hey guys, welcome to today's video. In this video, I'm going to be talking about what is Amazon FBA. This is a beginner's video, just explaining essentially what Amazon FBA is and what the pros and cons are of doing Amazon FBA. So firstly, what does FBA stand for? Well, it stands for Fulfillment by Amazon. And essentially what FBA is where you are basically sending your products into Amazon and then they are dealing with the whole process of picking, packing, posting them. So in the traditional sort of, say, eBay store, maybe you go and buy something and you'd list it on eBay and you'd have to then sell it. Once it sells, you'd have to then take it off your shelf. You'd have to find a box for it or buy a box. You'd have to get some packing material. You'd have to pack it. You then have to buy a postage label. Then you have to take it down the post office or UPS, and you have to do all that work yourself. With Amazon FBA, what you need to do basically is you buy the products as normal, send them into Amazon, and essentially what they'll do is those products will then live in the Amazon warehouse, and your product will then become available on an Amazon listing, an existing Amazon listing, and you'll become one or many sellers for that item. And when someone comes along and buys it, ideally on something like Amazon Prime, Amazon will then take that item off their shelf. They will then pack it, they'll post it, and it'll get all delivered, all done by Amazon. So it takes a lot of the headache away from what actually buying and selling things on the internet. So that's essentially what FBA is, and you can kind of see why that might be quite a powerful process in terms of scaling and not having to deal with the hassles of selling things online. So the other thing they deal with as well is Amazon will deal with the customer returns as well. So, and ideally they should deal with any kind of customer service. So if the customer has any problems or they want to return it, that's all dealt with by Amazon, and that's a double-edged sword as well. But essentially, it all goes back to Amazon. So that's, yeah, as you can see, that's what the basics of Amazon FBA is. So why is Amazon FBA good? Well, the first one, as I've already touched on, is that you can essentially scale to an unlimited level using Amazon FBA. So looking at my stats on the monitor here, I sold, I think, 6,000 odd items since I started Amazon FBA in about a year. Now, if I had to sell, if I had 6,000 items stored in my house, and they were stored on my shelf, and I had to, pick them, pack, and post all those items, it would take more than me to do it. It would be a full-time job, and I'd probably have to hire someone. But for the sort of low fee of selling on Amazon, Amazon will deal with that all for you. And as well, Amazon, being the big company they are, can get the economies of scale on things like the postage and things like that. So they can oftentimes send things in much cheaper than you could, or send things to a customer much cheaper than you can. So that is the major advantage of Amazon FBA, is the scalability. Basically, you'll never outgrow Amazon. So you can grow to, if you want, a $50, $100 million business, even more, and Amazon will be able to keep up with you. So good if you've got those kind of goals. But yeah, it's unlimited scalability basically. So the other thing is obviously the ease. I've touched on that as well. You can scale to a crazy level and not have to hire a single employee in terms of that has to pack and send things off to each customer. The other thing is that, again, I touched on the volume as well. And the final good thing about Amazon FBA is that once you send your items into Amazon and they're sat in the Amazon warehouse, they will be eligible for Amazon Prime for a customer. And people love Amazon Prime. They pay a subscription for it every year or every month. And people expect from Amazon Prime to get next day delivery or fast shipping. And once your item's in the Amazon warehouse, it is now eligible for Amazon Prime. And that means people will pay a premium for your product. You are essentially charging a higher price for convenience, and people are willing to pay for the convenience of buying an item from Amazon. Yes, it might be cheaper at the local supermarket or local toy store or whatever you're selling. It might be a couple of dollars, couple of pounds cheaper, but people want the convenience of it being delivered next day. They don't have to go and drive to the store or buy from another website where it might be cheaper, but then there's a a $5, £5 postage charge, which makes it more expensive. So people will pay a premium on Amazon to get FBA, and it's all about the Amazon Prime. That is the primary focus. You want to be available for Amazon Prime, and that is when people are going to buy your items. So those are the good reasons for Amazon FBA, but what are some of the bad reasons? The first and main one being is that this is Amazon's sandbox, basically. They are the ones in charge. You are playing in their sandbox, and you have to play by their rules. So they may set certain rules or policies you might not agree with, or you might think are a bit silly. But at the end of the day, like I said, it's their sandbox. They set the rules, and you have to follow them. So it's not such a bad thing. Just follow the rules. Be 100% legitimate. And if Amazon ask you to, polybag an item that doesn't make sense, it's fine. If they ask you to bubble wrap something, that's fine. Just basically follow what they say, and you'll be absolutely fine. And obviously, going back to positives, the one positive of FBA is that because you're playing an Amazon sandbox, as I keep repeating that analogy, you will have access to all their customers, the millions of customers that are on Amazon Prime who are willing to buy your products. So, there's no shortage of buyers. So, playing in Amazon's sort of, I'm not going to keep saying it, in their sandbox, has good things and bad things, basically. You get to leverage all their customers, and that is a big, big thing. That is what it's all about. Getting their customers on Amazon Prime. The other bad thing, I guess, of Amazon Prime is you still have to do some prepping and packing yourself. So you'll obviously need to source your products yourself. They'll all get delivered to your home or your warehouse or a prep center. And those products will need prepping according to Amazon's guidelines. So if it's something like a liquid, it'll need polybagging. If it's a fragile item, it'll need bubble wrapping. Or it could be as simple as you just need to put a SKU label on the bottom of the product. Maybe it's something, if it expires, let's say it's a chocolate bar and it has an expiry date, you may have to just put a barcode on the bottom. So there's different levels of prep that are required for each product. Some products require no prep, and you can just send it in as is using the manufacturer's barcode. And I'll talk more about barcodes and things in a future video. But yeah, there is some prep work. You have to throw those on a box, and the UPS come and collect them. They get delivered to the Amazon warehouse. So there is a little bit of prep required. It's not totally hands-off, but it's a lot less than you doing it all yourself in terms of packing and shipping to each customer. The final one is the price bricking. There's a lot of people on Amazon. There's a lot of sellers on Amazon. There's a lot of new sellers jumping onto Amazon. And it tends to be that some products that are quite popular tend to brick in prices. So you get price dropping or price tanking. So if 100 new sellers jump onto a listing, the price is inevitably going to drop unless there's a crazy demand for that product. So sometimes you have to be patient and either wait for the price to come back, or just cut your losses and sell at a lower profit or a small loss, depending on what it is. So anyway, I hope you've found that useful, the introduction to the Amazon FBA. If you've got any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. I'm going to be making many more videos. The whole idea is that this is going to be a sort of tutorial series. So this is kind of like lesson 1, the absolute basics of what Amazon FBA is. And I'll be making more videos with obviously stepping through what else is involved in Amazon and selling on Amazon. And hopefully you're enjoying the video quality and the audio quality and the lighting quality. Since the last video, I've upgraded everything so to produce better quality videos. Hopefully that's coming across to you guys. And yeah, I'd really appreciate if you'd like, subscribe, comment on the video. They've got some great videos coming up, and by the end of it, I should have an entire series of videos that will explain Amazon FBA from start to finish, and then you'll end up making $10,000 a month or more. Thanks very much, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.